You know, my sister used to say, I'm pretty sure, to kids when she taught, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Or someone said this, and I heard this from my sister. And I feel like there's a great zenny wisdom in that I should glean truth from and apply to my life how I live it. But I can't. Especially when you get is nil or worse and it comes from one of your favorite companies, brands in the world, uh, in the history of your life. What I'm getting at is, what am I to do with this? My bricked Switch OLED. So let's go to the left, right? Everyone remembers that, right? So, back in 2022, I bought this brand new on eBay from another country, I think Canada. It was, how much was it? How much monies? I think I lost the page. I lost it. But it was like 320 GBP or so. I'll post it here or there somewhere. And it came brand new. Came with foreign plug, but that's okay because I had a plug. Could buy a new plug. Had one. And it worked great for 6 months. My Switch OLED. But then, unfortunately, at some point, this has just been sitting in my closet for 3 years. Let's keep going. We're not going to update. We just want to start the software, Joe. As you can see, it's the cartridge right there. The use of online services on this console is currently restricted by Nintendo. Error code 2181 4008. What do I do with this thing? You get what you get and you don't get upset. I called Nintendo back in 2022, 6 months after I got this, because that's when they bricked my system, and I didn't even realize it was bricked. I thought there must be some error going on. I didn't know what. I was confused. And I called Nintendo customer service, and they reassured me I should be fine as long as I had the receipt, which I did. I mean, I still have it. It's very easy to retain that stuff online with eBay. And this was also from a person with 100% positive feedback. And, um, it's upsetting. It's upsetting truth. But it is truth. So you got to be careful out there when you buy these things on eBay, new or old, or Facebook Marketplace, or wherever. I called Nintendo. I talked to them. They said I should be fine because if I had the receipt, but they'd get back to me in like the next 10 days. They didn't. So I called back in like 2 weeks or so. I was like, hey, looking for an update. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can't use your system anymore. Excuse-moi, por qué? No. And because it was stolen, I didn't know it was stolen. If I knew it was stolen, I wouldn't have paid 319 or whatever GBP for it, or $400 or 300 whatever dollars it was at the time for it. Because I'm pretty sure the dollar was doing better at that time. I did not pay 400 for it, but now it says it's over 400. And I was like, well, I didn't steal it. I have proof. I paid for it legitimately. It was brand new. Is there someone else I can talk to? Is there a manager above you I can speak with? I am the manager. Okay, so you just leave me with a brick? 300 whatever dollar brick? Sorry, yep. I don't know if they told me to try with eBay, but it would have been useless because it was 6 months later. It was months after I had purchased the system, and eBay's money back guarantee um, doesn't really seem to apply at that point. They weren't very sympathetic to me. But the utter lack of understanding and thought, not even looking at the proof that I had purchased it online from eBay from someone in another country, it was very shocking to me, and it remains to this day upsetting that I have this very expensive brick. And I did buy a new one, and I was resentful to do so because I had already bought one, but I bought a new one when they became available in stock again. Um, and so, be careful out there. I'm just warning you with Switch 2 craze about buying that stuff. I mean, I probably should have said something earlier. Sorry, fam. But be careful out there because you don't know what you're getting, from whom you're getting it, and you don't know what Nintendo's going to do to it. And the reason I'm thinking about this today is because I just saw an article and I read it about someone's Nintendo Switch 2 getting bricked by Nintendo, or at least the online functionality. They bricked my online functionality and the ability to play the cartridge. I mean, I was just trying to play Destroy All Humans, this little bad boy. I can't play anything. It's crazy. This is literally a expensive, convoluted flashlight. I'm sure there's something I can do with it, but I haven't pursued that at this point, up to now. Um, but so I read that someone's Switch 2 got bricked because they had gotten these like 4 Switch 1 games from on Facebook Marketplace, put them into their Switch 2, downloaded patches or updates or whatever, and it turns out the games were pirated. They weren't legitimate games. They weren't genuine, and so Nintendo bricked the person's system. But then they got in touch with Nintendo and provided photographic evidence that they had no intention to do that. They had good intentions. They thought they were getting legitimate games, just used. And Nintendo reversed it or unbricked their system. Like I said, Nintendo kind of gave me assurance that if I had receipt, I should be fine. But then when they didn't reach out to me, and I reached out to them, and I was talking to the manager. Apparently, they told me I had no one above them I could talk to. They were not willing to look at proof at all. So be warned. They're a fickle beast. And recently I've had other issues with Nintendo buying controllers from the My Nintendo store, and maybe I'll talk about that too. It was some interesting experiences. Um, you know, you live and you learn. You get what you get and you don't get upset. I got upset, but, it is what it is. You move on as much as you can. Um, it's weird to to make sense of how Nintendo's games and intellectual property, their software, their whole audience and everything they make and produce is really largely kids, or the kid in us, and play and innocent play, even when it's destruction and chaos, because it's a hero's quest, and then them doing stuff like this, bricking my system and that I bought legitimately, and I need not say anything more because people have been raving about things they're so upset about with Nintendo, and I get it. Nintendo is not exactly the warmest, most loving, disembodied person as a business entity, but as a game producer, they're great. I love them. Anyways, you've been warned. Have a great day. Be careful, make good choices, or just don't make ones that could have foreseeable consequences that you could avoid by a little more patience. Do as I say, not as I do. Because Nintendo don't care sometimes, it seems. I've been waiting to say that. I'll admit it. Alright, cheers. Drink water. Be hydrated.